How are you, my friend?
Very good, very good. All set to talk about. I still got goosebumps talking about that experience for sure. So I'm really happy to talk about this morning.
Me too. Just before we share our presentation, I just wanted to go back, Jen, to the day that you got your letter, the day that you found out you were going. What was that like for you?
Yeah, well, it was a lot of emotion because first of all, I got the letter after I got the call. So the letter was confirming the selection, but I was at work and I was working. I'm working in a school, so I do not have access to my cell phone during the day. So at the end of the day, it's 3 o'clock. I go into my office and I see 6 messages on my cell phone, about 12 text messages. I'm like, what's going on? And then I saw the name of Jeff Whipple on that, so I'm calling him. And then he said, go look through your email. I'm like, what email? What? He said, you're going where? And then he said the Olympics. I'm like, whoa. And then I'm all alone in my office. Everybody left the school. And I'm like, I need to jump into somebody's arms, but I couldn't find anybody except the track and field coach that I barely know. And then I jumped into his arms and said, I got selected to the Olympics. And I'm like, ah. Everything was really fun and emotional. What about you?
Oh, it's same thing, except I didn't have as long of a delay. So, but it was, yeah, I think I was really emotional right away. Didn't take very long. Jeff, you came off mute. Did you want to add something? Oh, I thought he came off mute to add something. Oh. But so yeah, there's all this excitement and emotion, and then how long after that did we find out it was delayed?
Well, I think we got the confirmation in January or early in the year 2020. And then we went to New Zealand with almost the whole crew for the Olympics to get the championship over there. And then just when we got back, everything closed. So we were like a lot of anxiety, not knowing what's going to happen. So we just waited.
And how did you feel when you found out it was going to be delayed?
I was just really happy that it wasn't canceled and it was delayed. So I said, those are things that we can't control. So let's have one more year to get ready to go there. So what about you?
Yeah, it's so many mixed emotions at that time because, when we were on our way back from New Zealand, my family was like, I don't know if you've been able to watch the news, but it's crazy out there. So you should probably get a mask and get some gloves. And Jen, I don't know if you remember, but our flight was changed on the way home.
Yes.
And the flight that we were supposed to be on had 2 confirmed cases. And if we had been on that plane, we would have had to quarantine for 14 days when we got to Ottawa. So I think that was sort of a stark reminder of what was going on in the world.
Exactly.
So I don't think it was too long after that we found out that the Olympics were delayed. And for me, my first thought actually was when we came back from New Zealand, I was in Ottawa for the Women in Softball Summit, and there were 3 women there from Team Canada who were waiting to go to Tokyo with us to play. And all 3 of them had put significant delays on pretty major milestones in their lives. And so my thought was immediately to players who have put careers on hold, put families on hold. One of them wanted to start having a family, and she was like, but I can wait until after Tokyo, right? And then another one, her and her partner were about to purchase a home, but they thought they would just wait until they got back. And so I was thinking about these major decisions that people have put on hold. And for officials, I mean, it's just not as significant for some like that, not those major milestones, even though I think there was an umpire on our crew who delayed something that they were looking forward to.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, but the good side of it is we got one more year to get ready for that big event. So, and it wasn't easy because of the circumstances. So we couldn't do much games and everything. So we had to find a way to get ready to go to the biggest tournament of our lives. So
yeah, and then the crazy preparations, like all the paperwork that we had to get ready. And I mean, I was very grateful that we got a chance to meet monthly over Zoom as a crew,
yes,
so that we could continue our preparations in a different way. I don't know about you, Jen. I was getting stressed about whether or not I was going to remember to get everything. We had this long checklist of all these paper things that we had to bring. We had to download 2 different apps on our phone. And then what was the most stressful thing for you between the paperwork, the apps that we had to download, and actually getting to Tokyo?
I think the most stressful one was getting to Tokyo, because you want to be there when the tournament starts. So I think you got a story over that traveling thing a little bit later on that you're going to talk about. But for now, at that point, the stressful moment were more PCR tests, I should say, because we needed 96 hours before the departure, and another one.
Was it 72 and 48? I can't even remember. I think it was 72 and 48.
Okay, let's go with that. And then one of my tests, one day before I left, I was supposed to leave from Montreal. I realized that one of my PCR tests was off by 30 minutes. So it was no good. So I had to find a place to get another one, because they sent us a list of actual places where you have to go do your PCR test. You couldn't do it at the pharmacy next door. So it was a list from the Tokyo Olympic Committee that you had to go. So I was in a rush getting everything done. I printed the list twice. I was checking a box every day. I was so stressful. I was tired when I got to the airport.
Yeah, and Jen, did you find out that your test was 30 minutes off? Because I can't remember who it was on the crew that they were leaving, and they found out that one of their tests was not in the acceptable time frame. Might have been Bob, actually. And then
yes,
Chris,
it was Bob.
Yeah, and then Chris started phoning everybody. So Chris phoned me
Yes.
the night before I was flying at 10:30 at night, and she said, "Frankie, when was your first PCR test?" And I told her, and then she said, "Well, where's your first flight to?" And I said, "It's to Chicago." And she said, "Okay, you'll be fine because your first flight is international." So I never did feel like I had to go and get another one. But the story that Jen's alluding to, I get into Chicago and I go to check in to get to Tokyo, and they tell me I can't get on the plane. And I know right for sure, if I'm not on this plane, I'm not getting there in time, right? So I think the tears started to well up, and he says, "You need to get another test." And I said, "Okay, well, where do I go?" So he said, "Well, there's a testing center outside the airport." Okay. How long do I have? He says, "You have 34 minutes. Okay. So just imagine, so we're traveling all the way across the world, and I've got like 2 carry-ons. You're wearing a mask at that time. So they give me directions. So, and he looks at his watch. I said, "You're never going to make it. This lady's telling me you're never going to make it. You're never going to make it." And the gentleman says, he puts his hand on my shoulder, and he turns to her and he says, "Let her try." So I go sprinting through the airport. I go down the stairs, out the building, across the street, weaving through traffic. I get to this testing center. I'm just about to pay for the test, and my phone rings, and the guy says, "The Japanese government will accept your test, so come back." And I'm like, "Okay, but how long do I have till you board?" Because now I got to get back through security in the airport. So you have 17 minutes. Okay. So I go hustling back through, and they called security ahead of time. They were waiting for me. They rushed me through. I go sprinting down. I got there just in time, got on the plane. I was like just drenched in sweat. And I can assure you, I'm so grateful that we did not have to wear masks when we were umpiring on the bases, because when you're breathing heavy in a mask, it is really hard to continue getting the oxygen you need. But yeah, that was definitely the most stressful thing for me getting there. I was glad that was over. I was glad when that was over.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Getting there is the most important thing. And then
That's
your
exactly
luggage
it.
and everything. So because the first plane tickets, I guess yours was like that too. It was a direct flight in 2020, but then in 2021, flights had changed, and I went through Chicago too, where we missed each other by, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. And we ended up in Tokyo in 2 different airports. So we didn't see each other before the first morning over there.
That was funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to our show.
Yes. Share screen.
Bottom green button.
Yeah. This one here. Won't be long. Mm-hmm. Hang on a second. Something is in the way. I just can't click the button. Here it is.
There we go.
So as you can see, those rings for me, they were a dream that I always dreamed of. And then I took a picture of them because they were real. They were on a diamond, and that was it for me. What about you, Frankie?
Well, when we got a chance to, I think we have some pictures, but when we got a chance to go to the field the day before, or a few days before the game started, it was just surreal seeing them like that, seeing them on the diamond, seeing them on the backstop, seeing them on the video screen. Yeah, it was
big.
It was big.
So bringing you to the first day, July 17th, travel day, departure. Really happy to get everything done. Paper, apps, suitcase, and PCR tests. Getting ready to go on the plane from Montreal for my part.
I think I took this when I realized that I was going to get a chance to go. So this was like literally right before I had walked onto the plane after I had been running around trying to get a new test.
Yeah, that must have been awful. But hey, we were there, so it's good. Next up, July 18th. So after 20 or 24 hours of traveling, here we go. First thing I saw down at the airport was an advertising from Mizuno with a softball player on it. So I was pretty amazed. As Frankie was saying, we saw the rings pretty much everywhere here at the airport. Really happy. You can see it in my eyes. And then here with the little Purell bottle here that we saw that pretty much everywhere, including with the Tokyo advertising, the rings at the airport. And then, because when we got down at the airport, we were at about 4-hour drive from the Fukushima hotel. So we drove there at night, so we didn't see anything. So in the morning when we woke up, we were in that hotel in Fukushima. This is an old, or actually it's a ski resort hotel, and it wasn't open during the summer, so they opened it just for us. And then you can see the mountains in the back. And then that's the inside with a few umpires there. You have here Manuel Tovar from Venezuela, and you have Miki Yabe, the Japanese umpire. And then Frankie found something great.
Yeah, I don't know how we lucked upon this, but Chris and Kira, Chris from the US and Kira from Australia, and I lucked upon this, the torch. This literally was the torch that the people run with. So they let us take pictures with it. Crazy. We were just like, oh my God, I can't believe we're seeing this. I can't believe we're holding it. It was pretty awesome. They said, don't break it. I said, we're not going to break it. But I was surprised they let us touch it.
I didn't see it. I wasn't there at that moment. So
It was like,
lucky
it was
you.
just for, I think it was there for like maybe 30 minutes. They had all these people around, big security, and then they had to take it somewhere else. It was just serendipitous that we were there at the right moment.
That's nice. Alrighty, continuing the tour. We had at breakfast some yogurt with the sweetest peaches in the world. Apparently, Fukushima is a really popular place for their peaches. So I had a yogurt over there with those sweetest peaches. And then I saw the Tokyo 2020 Olympic logo on it. So I said, wow, can't find that anywhere. So I took a picture of it. It was, was really
The
great.
logo was everywhere. It was so interesting.
Yeah, on everything too. So July 19, we go at the Fukushima Stadium for the visit of the ball field. And then the reason why the Olympics decided to play the first 2 days of the Olympics in Fukushima was to put that town, that city back on the map, including, talking about March 2011, the nuclear disaster that happened over there. So the Olympic Committee wanted to prove to the world that Fukushima was back on the map and ready to be part of a big event. So here we are in the parking lot with the security. The buses go through that big tent over there. Cameras are watching under the buses. Everybody's watching everything. So lots of security over there. Here it is, Frankie.
Yeah, this I think these were the only rings we could get close to. These were outside of the stadium, about half a football field away, just in a vertical. It was really cool.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would be good to try and climb to the top to get a picture, but security was really heavy there. But it was good because I wasn't once worried about getting sick while we were there. The COVID protocols were really strict, but it was good, and it was intended to keep all the athletes and the officials healthy. So, but I was glad that they let us walk down and see these.
Yep. As we go through security, each and every one of us, you can see inside lots of people, and they were taking our body temperature and then washing the hands, and then the faces identity with the machine of some sort, with our cards too, and then they're looking into our bags, and then the metal detectors and everything, and then we're getting out. Where you can see here is Chris Drum from USA, and then we're allowed to go on the site. Here we are going towards Fukushima Stadium. As you can see here, security again. You have here the Chinese umpire. What's her name again? Jiling, yeah, exactly. Jose Chaparro from Puerto Rico. This is Kira from Australia. You have here Ayaka from Japan, Mark from New Zealand, Mariana from the Netherlands. Here is Frankie, Chris from USA, and this is Miki. We're missing a few, but we're on our way to the big stadium. First day. We're really amazed. It's really a big stadium, 3,600 people over there. 36,000? 36,000, yeah. You can see the big mountains in the back. Still have security over here. So everything is in Japanese. So I think it's really impressive because you don't understand nothing. It's a good thing it was written here, I think in English. Yeah, Olympic Games, Tokyo 2020. Other signs where we can go. And there's a field. Frankie, do you want to comment a little bit? Or
yeah, so this is the day that we just got to go while they were still setting up. So we just got to go and walk on the diamond and take it all in. And this was a really special day because we didn't know for sure if we were going to be able to do this with the COVID protocols and everything. And so when we were allowed to do it, I think everybody was just so excited to go and see it, familiarize yourself with where we were going to be for the first few days before we actually had to be there and officiate. So it was a pretty awesome few hours that we got to spend there. And I think something interesting happened while we were there. Weren't they testing the mic system, Jen? And didn't they?
Oh yeah, they were testing the mic for sure. Because as you can see, I would just want to finish here. As you can see, this is dirt, but this is turf. So the whole field is turf, except this part here is dirt, and here for the picture, everywhere else is turf. So it's kind of neat for the pants and the shoes, because nothing gets dirty except if you're behind the plate. So as Frankie was saying, so we were, walking on the field, taking pictures, taking a nice walk, and then we were hearing the scorekeeper practicing and everything. And as we see that welcome to Tokyo white screen there, we're like, oh, let's go take a picture over there. So while we are walking over there, I'm walking with Gianluca Magnani from Italy, and then we're hearing the scorekeepers announcing the umpires for the next day. So we hear that voice saying, for the opening game between Japan and Australia, plate umpire Genevieve Gaudreau. So I'm like, I didn't hear that. I just didn't hear that. It's just I'm continue walking, don't say anything. And then Gianluca hit me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, it's you." I'm like, "Oh, they must be practicing for tomorrow. I don't know, or for the next week, the sounds and everything." And then he said, "Okay." So we're continuing walking towards the center field to take a picture. This announcer continues and said, "Well, at first base from Italy, Gianluca Magnani." So I hit him on the shoulder and I said to him, "Well, it's you on first base." So he said, "Well, I guess we're on the first game tomorrow." I'm like, "Okay then." So it was a little bit funny way to learn that I was on the first game for the Olympics.
But gave you more time to get excited.
And get anxious too, and don't sleep, and didn't eat, and call home, and then what am I gonna do? that was really fun, and create a lot of stress, but fun stress. So here it is. I don't know if I think I can start. Nope, lost it. I wanted to push the button to see the video. Oh, yeah, here it is. And
Oh, you have a video here.
yeah.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Sorry about that.
Sometimes it's tough to play
Yeah,
video.
it worked the other time, but I'll try here. If it's not working, we're going to continue, but well, we can see it on like this, I think, for now. You can hear the announcers behind.
Ours is actually no sound, Jen.
Oh, really? Sorry about that.
That's okay. It's a nice
That
panoramic.
Yeah, you can see the whole field. And then we got into center field. Oh no. Sorry again.
I think every single, that's okay. I think every single one of us found a moment to get something like this. I think I even sat in the middle of one of those rings and got a picture of it, but
yeah, it was really impressive. As you were saying earlier, the rings are pretty much everywhere, and this is so big. So you're like, what? It's bigger than you can imagine. It's hard to describe. And then there was me really happy. Yay! So yeah, really happy to be there. And then, as I was saying earlier, that was a dream for me. I'm pretty sure it was for you too, Frankie. Just
Absolutely.
being there with the delay of 1 year and all the preparation in different conditions. That was awesome just to be there.
Agree. There we are,
Yeah.
all of us together.
You see, everybody's smiling. Everybody's so anxious to start. Everybody's just really happy crew.
So that the gentleman on the our far right is Mitsunori from Japan. The fact that he's smiling in this picture, people, tells you how. Because I mean, I'm forever teasing him that Mitsu, smile. So I mean, it just tells you just what a moment this was for all of us to be here. So
yeah.
I think we have a question. iPhone, go ahead. Or maybe they don't.
Or maybe later we can take
a name call. You mean do you want us to go?
I think it might be me, Genevieve, is Steve in Val d'Or, Quebec.
Salut Steve, ça va bien?
Ça va très bien.
Yes.
Listen, I'm going to ask the question in English because to make sure everybody understands. I heard it in the past from Lucy Carmichael. I heard it from Serge Laflamme. Both of them got to the Olympics before you. And they used to say, oh, well, a ball is a ball, a strike is a strike. So I don't really believe this, honestly. So how long did it take to you and Frankie to get accustomed to the level of realizing that, oh yeah, well, finally, maybe after the first or second or third game, a ball is a ball and a strike is a strike. So I'm just wondering how nervous you were. Like, did you miss one clear pitch before realizing, oh yeah, this is a much higher stake than at Pee-wee level or whatever. So I'm just curious about this.
It's a great question. Frankie, do you want to answer first?
Oh, you go first because you were on the diamond before I was, so you go first.
Yes. So as I was saying earlier, I knew I was on the first game behind the plate, so I had a lot of time to stress, but I also had a lot of time to get ready. But it's this tournament is so big. It is so emotional when you put your feet on the ground for the first time, and then you take a deep breath, and then you're like, okay, let's play ball. Fortunately for me, the first two pitches were balls, so that was good. I think I shut my eyes at the first one. It wasn't in the strike zone for sure. The second one was a ball. The third one was a strike. And normally I'm taking a deeper voice to call the strikes, but that one got out like, I'm like, oh, okay, a little bit nervous here. So after that pitch, I took a deep breath and I was telling to myself, as you were saying, Steve, that's the same game. That's been 24 years I'm doing that. I know this game. This is going to be fun. Those are the same players. I know all of them. This is a great umpire crew. I know everybody of them. I'm confident that everything's going to go well. So I was good for about an inning and a half. And then my eyes went a little bit higher than the field. And then I saw those Olympic rings again. I'm like, shit, I'm still at the Olympics. It's not a regular game. So I got back a little bit nervous again, but then you just do whatever you're doing all the time as an umpire. You be there for the players, be there for the game, and do the best you can. So that was it for me.
Oh, Jen, it's just so interesting to listen to you talk about that. I think the first day, Steve, is like that for everyone, regardless of the spot that they're at. And just trying to remember to stay grounded and stay within yourself. But there are moments, I would definitely say, I did chat with a few people about this. There's moments, especially on the first day for everybody, where there are so many reminders of where you are. And I also would say many of us got a chance to umpire these teams many times over the last few years.
Yes.
And there was absolutely, you could tell that Olympic medals were on the line, because there was a different intensity and a different, even though there was nobody there, the players and the coaches were in it to win it. And from the moment the first pitch was thrown. So it was, yeah. Same thing with Jen. I mean, every once in a while I'd catch a glimpse of something and be like, just take a deep breath, just take a deep breath, anyway, pretty awesome.
We'll talk about more emotions coming in the pictures. You'll see. So this is us into the rings, inside the rings, I should say. With a very, very sunny day and hot day. What was the temperature over there, Frankie?
Oh, probably, I think it was like 38, 39, 40 degrees Celsius in there.
Just about. I never had such beautiful curly hair at that week, for sure. It was really humid and hot, and yeah, no need to cream your legs or your face. Everything was, warm. That was great. So
we have a question. I don't
Yep.
know, Stefani?
Hi, Stephanie from Alberta. I was just wondering, can you guys name the country of all the umpire that's on the photo, please?
yes,
Then
this is
yeah, go ahead.
oh, sorry. Gianluca Magnani here from Italy. This is me from Quebec. Mark Porteous from New Zealand. Zeeling from China. Mariana from the Netherlands. Christina Drum from USA. Manuel Tovar from Venezuela. Jose Chaparro from Puerto Rico. This is Bob Stenton from Canada, for sure. Frankie Billingsley from Alberta, Ontario, and all over the world. Miki Yabe from Japan. Mitsunori from Japan. Ayaka from Japan. And Kira from Australia. Kira did the final game behind the plate. Oops, sorry about that. There it is. So that was our first day at the ball field. We took some pictures. We walked in the stadium. We checked the umpire rooms and everything. And then we got back to the hotel. That brings us to July 20th. Back at the field for the crew picture with our gear and everything. So it's all of us with the masks on. The WBSC masks, they were black. First game, everybody needed to wear one. And then, as Frankie was saying earlier, on the bases, we were allowed no masks. So that was pretty good. Assuming the temperature was really hot and warm. And then here's a bunch of us in the outfield with the mask, with the WBSC logo here. And those jersey we had, they are the only one with the Tokyo 2020 logo on it. So we have two of those. Personally, I'm gonna put one in the frame to keep it for sure. So this is our crew here. Everybody well dressed. Official picture. Really happy to be there. Everybody's still smiling, including Mitsunori here. Frankie, also a big smile all the time.
There's some good ones. Jose, Chris, Manny, Mickey, Ayaka, good smiles there.
Yes. Tiny eyes because of the sun was really shining over there. Here's all of us with the big picture in the back. And then we're all set for the first day of competition, July 21st. Here we are, July 21st. You can see behind us here, it's 8:30. First game's at 9 in the morning. So we're half an hour away from the first pitch. You can see here the teams. It's Australia against Japan. Australia in yellow. Japan is in their dugout. So that's the crew for the first game. And that's a nice moment here when they present the umpires. It's a good thing we had a mask on, because my lip was a little bit shaky at that time when they pronounced my name. So a lot of emotion there, for sure. That's a picture, that picture was taken from the TV, but I got another one. So first pitches, that's me behind the plate with the Australian catcher. That was something. And then for those who saw that game, in the first inning, we had a big play at the plate. So here it is. So everybody who saw that that play, it was an obstruction call at the plate. You can see the Japan player starting to slide, and then the Australian catcher blocking the plate, not in possession of the ball. So I called an obstruction. So for sure, the Australian coach came at me, and then he just wanted to talk because he knew his catcher was at the wrong place. So he just came to ask if he had a chance to negotiate something. I said, no, I'm 100% sure. So nothing's going to happen there. So he said, okay. And then he went back. So that was, as I was saying to other people here, I think I called that play twice in my life, in my career. And the second time was right there. So it's a good thing. I had the chance to practice here in my province. The government allowed me to go practice with the U19 women's team, and they allowed me to go in the men's league in Quebec City to do a few games over there. So that was the practice I did. Only practice, only 4 games behind the belt before going there, but a lot of practice, because I was practicing with the team, with their pitcher. Sometimes I would go on the bases when they were doing mini games inside the practice, but it was only one team. So it was a lot of How did you prepare, Frankie, for those games?
Yeah, so you and I were in a similar boat. There was nothing going on in Ontario for the 18 months before we left. So Chris Drum kind of got me connected with somebody down in the States. And so I went down and did 4 games in total before we got to Tokyo. 4 games in 18 months. I never ever thought that would ever be a thing.
Yeah.
So got to make the most of what you got.
Yeah. But the thing is, when you only got 4 games to get ready, I think that's the experience that we have behind the belt that really helped us to be ready for the Olympics. It was not, some people would say it's not a lot of preparation, but we have more than 20 years of umpiring behind the belt. So, you know, those reactions, they come because it's in you. So it was great. So that day, July 21st, Frankie, you were at first base. Oh, I didn't have any pictures from you, but you were at first base in a game, Italy against USA.
Yep, that was the first game for me. And it was like a close game. I mean, the thing that was amazing about the tournament is all of the games were fairly competitive. Like the teams were there to play, and it was that was awesome.
Yeah. Brings us to July 22nd, back at the field for more games. Frankie had a game at home plate. I was off field. This is the stadium, so we're gonna go a little bit faster because we won't have time to do it all. So it's our second day of competition in the Fukushima Stadium. This is a small bus that we're driving us towards the field. Here it is, Frankie at the plate. How was the off field? Sorry.
Yes, this was Mexico, Japan, and yes, your Jen was the off-field official for this game.
Yeah.
This was a great game.
Yeah.
This was a one. I think we went to extra innings in this game. Just awesome. Mexico was playing really, really well up and getting ready for this tournament. At the qualifier, they beat Puerto Rico to get there, and it was just, and they also beat Canada in the qualifier, which was probably the first time ever that they had done that.
Nice.
This was an interest. I don't know if we have I never in a million years would have expected that I would have gone to the Olympics and suffered my first concussion. Who would think that happened? So
Here
we
it
won't
is.
play this. We won't play this, but
Okay.
there was a only because I don't want it to. But there was a TikTok video. I got hit in the bottom of the seventh or the top of the seventh. I can't remember. I think it was a 2-1 ball game at the time, and Yukiko Ueno was pitching for Japan. She pitched a high inside fastball. The Mexican batter, the girl from Mexico, just grazed the ball and it just picked up speed and clocked me right in the mask. I've been hit in the mask lots of times, but I don't know if I've ever been hit, like knocked over from it. Anyway, just wanted to make sure that that I wasn't going to compromise the integrity of the game or anything, but just, yeah, it was fine. I didn't have any double vision or anything. But it wasn't until I got home and I started trying to work online in front of my computer for 6 or 7 hours a day. I just couldn't do it. I mean, I had an instant headache by like 9 a.m. So
Wow.
it was awful. but luckily there, it wasn't that bad. But
Yeah. So that same day, I had the 3:00 game at second base, Australia against Italy. That was my only call of the game. So that was a great one. And then after that day, we were getting ready to pack our things to move to the Yokohama Stadium, 4 hours away from Fukushima. So we took a few pictures. This is the on-deck circle. It's removable on-deck circle for both teams. This is a bag from over there. Every bag had the Tokyo 2020 and the Olympic rings and the Olympic logo on it. That was awesome. And this is us back to the hotel, getting ready to move to Yokohama on the July 22nd. And then that brought us to July 23rd for the opening ceremonies that we weren't allowed to go. So we did our own at the hotel, July 23rd. This is a view from my room at the hotel. Big hotel, big city. Yokohama is about an hour from Tokyo. And then the women's soccer final was played in Yokohama because it was a little bit cooler there than in Tokyo. So they were there at the same time as us for the final. This is us on our way to the stadium for the first time in Yokohama Baseball Stadium. You can see everybody has a mask, and it's a bus only for ourselves, only the umpires crew on that. Here is the Yokohama Stadium, more in the city compared to the Fukushima one. It was more in the mountain. As you can see, Tokyo 2020 pretty much everywhere. Big stairs, big stadium, also really impressive when you get there. This is us walking in through security to go inside the stadium. Big smiles behind the masks. And behind us is Kira from Australia. Here is the security part, taking the body temperature, washing the hands, and this is the screen machine. You put your face towards the screen here with your card a little bit lower, and they allowed you to go in if they recognize you. This is Mariana, and this is her picture on the screen, emptying her bag, and then this is the metal detector. So everybody have to go through that every day. This is Bob Stanton, successfully going through the metal detector. This is us waiting for the crew. Here is the entry, Yokohama Stadium, lots of people, volunteers with blue shirts, and umpires with red shirts. WBSC representative here, as you can see. This is the cafeteria where we eat our lunch. So for the food, there was always pasta every day. So I went into that, and there was a lot of a Japanese meal. Frankie, were you able to eat as you wish over there?
Yeah, I didn't have any troubles, but I can pretty much eat anything. So
that's good. I'm a little bit more picky, so I ate the same thing for the 2 weeks. This is a stadium. I got a video too, but we're gonna cut on time. But it was a really big stadium too. We're gonna see it on other pictures. Here it is from behind the plate. There's a Japanese team is practicing on field. As you can see, more city buildings in the back. Frankie, if you want to add something, just go on.
Yeah, you could really tell that as a nation, they were excited to host softball and baseball. They have facilities that are just unparalleled. They just love this game. So it was just really lovely to be in a place where everyone was excited to see this sport play.
Yeah.
And to be a part of it. And I think just the fact that it hadn't been in the Olympics for 12 years also, well, by the time it actually played, 13 or whatever. But look at this. I mean, they actually have, I think this stadium was with additional seating between the two outfield fences when they condense the field for softball, has the capacity for 44,000, I think they said, Jen.
Yeah, something like that. It's pretty big. And then they put some fences for softball competition. So the dugouts were too far. So they put some tents here and there for the teams to sit under it, because the dugouts for baseball were too far from the playing field. This is it. Still really big. WBSC sign. Dugouts for the players. Me in center was left field. Right field, sorry. Here it is, starting lineup. When you see your name on that board, it's pretty impressive. So as I was saying, the opening ceremony, we got dressed up with all those gears here. Lots of stuff, souvenir for sure. So we were all dressed alike. We got the rings. I got mine in black and Frankie got hers in silver. So we wanted to do exactly the same thing. Frankie?
Yeah, as Jen and I chatted when we realized that it's very typical for us to get souvenirs for each other when we travel. And I think Bob was the one that suggested that maybe instead of doing that, we would buy rings. And so Jen and I chatted right away, and we decided that to commemorate this journey and this experience together, we designed them identically to one another. So Jen and I have the exact same ring. The only difference is I don't know what you call the finish on yours. Jen, you have the dark.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know what that
one.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you call that, but so Jen's has got the darker finish on it, and mine's got the silver type finish on it, but everything else is the same.
And everybody's got the same blue.
Blue spiral fire is what it's called.
Yes.
And I think I can't remember that. I think that also was Bob's idea that there be one common element among the 14 rings, the 13 officials. And I can't remember how we decided, but we decided that the stone would be the one common element. And
exactly.
I just love the fact that it's probably the closest color to our uniform colors. So I thought that was a really nice common feature that we all have.
Exactly, that was great. So people could choose that sort of ring or this one here, and you can choose the color of the ring. So that was great. Great souvenir. So this is the Canadian trio, all dressed up in the lobby of the hotel, because at the beginning we weren't allowed to go outside. Then we asked, and then the hotel sent somebody to check on us to make sure we won't go on the other side of the street. So we took pictures outside. This is Frankie and me. Nice hat.
Yeah,
this is this is the Asian group. Mitsunori, Ziling, Ayaka, and Miki. This is the Oceania team, Mark and Kira. Mark from New Zealand, Kira from Australia. It's
the South American team.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Jose and Manuel. European crew, Mariana and Gianluca. USA crew, Christina, and then all of us outside. Nice picture, serious, and then relaxed fit here with our vests. That was great all together. And then I took a picture of that. It's the screen of the TV because that person is saying that the games are now opened. And we were all in the same hotel room and we're yelling and really happy to start officially the games. So July 24th, more games. So we had the chance to work together again. I was on first base for USA Mexico. Frankie was off field. And then the second game, Japan, Italy, I was reserve umpire and Frankie was on third. So you can see, as you can see, each games needed 7 umpires, 4 on the field, 1 off-field umpire, 1 on the clock, and 1 as a reserve in case of injury. This is the other crew for the game night. Everybody smiling again. This is manual operating the clock. As you can see, it's right behind. Well, you can't. From here, you can see the clock was about here where I was sitting, and then under the tent over here. This is the off-field official that's sitting right here to take the substitutions. And this is at night, starting of the game. Presentation of umpires, presentation of the teams. July 25th. This is Frankie in action on second base. USA, Australia, we were together. Frankie on second base, I was on third. So I took a picture of the third base because I didn't have any pictures of me on the field. This is us again with Mariana from the Netherlands. Really happy to be there with our mask as a beard of some sort. Here at the 8 o'clock game, July 25th, I was the reserve umpire and Frankie was on the clock. So Mariana was our official photographer again.
She was trying to distract us.
So those people here in navy blue, they were in charge of giving the balls. Can you explain what was the system, Frankie?
So we had there was a cart there's a cart that you can sort of see right behind the person in navy blue that's facing the camera. And they had towels on one level, water on the other, and then they had balls on the top. And they were just really helpful in making sure that the plate umpire always had balls coming in. And each umpire on the field is assigned to one of these individuals to take care of you, and they have all of your water bottles marked and towels, and this is very customary of events at Japan. This was not just an Olympic thing. This is the way that they take care of their officials at major tournaments. So this really talk about feeling like you're being pampered.
Yeah. July 26th, 2 more days. So we're back at the field for more games on the 26th. Final round. Getting ready for the medals. So this is USA, Japan. I was a clock operator. Frankie was on second base. So she's right here. This is Jennifer Abbott from the USA. I just wanted to point out how tall she is. This is the crew. For the game at 8 o'clock, I was on the plate. It was Mexico against Australia. And the winner of that game was going to play against Canada for the bronze medal game the next day. So I was pretty happy to be on that game too. This is me during the game, Mexico, Australia, calling a strike. July 27th was the last day of us, and they allowed us to go in the stands. So we took a few pictures. This is us in the stands from behind the plate, taking a few pictures over there. This is Mexico dugout because there was only 2 games on July 27th was a final, the bronze medal game, Mexico against Canada. So this is Mexico dugout. This is Canada dugout. Umpires on the field. Game has started. This is us, really happy to be there in the stands cheering for Canada silently. And this is us waiting to go on the field because we were, I don't know about you, Frankie, but I was pretty excited for the Canada team playing in that bronze medal game. And then,
yeah, it
go
was
ahead.
so exciting. It was so exciting to be able to be there to watch this game unfold. And what a better timing, couldn't have better timing to allow us to watch outside. So I think, did we sneak down? I think we snuck down at the beginning of the 7th because we wanted to be there at the end of the game. Yeah.
After 1 out, we sneaked down, and then after 2 out, we were on the field behind the plate, crawling down at the level of the grass, so nobody can see us, but we were there. And then they got the bronze medal, so it was really a happy moment for the team, and a lot of emotion for our sport, our program, and the visibility of it. And then that was a video I did. It was where we were walking in the stadium to go towards our dressing room, but I won't play it because we were already off our time. And then this is the final crew in the locker room. So there's me here, Kira, Frankie, Ziling, and Mariana. The 5 of us, sorry. And this is behind the plate before getting on the diamond. Really happy to be there. So we took a few pictures. It's a base that was going on the field. Gold medal game, written on the side. The rings with our feet. We're still behind the plate here. Again. Getting ready to go on the field. Big smiles. So this is the 7 of us. He was on the clock and he was a reserve umpire. 5 of us on the field. Here it is, getting ready to do the final game of that tournament. Again, when you see your name on that board, it's really emotional. So as you can see the time, we're about 7 minutes away from the first pitch. Final game, and then national anthems. Getting ready to move on. Presentation. So that was it. So July 28th, we had to shop online. You want to talk about that, Frankie, please?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I just I think that one of the things that all of us were just like really disappointed about was we couldn't go anywhere. And what do you want to do when you go somewhere new and you want to get souvenirs? And
Exactly.
so we were really disappointed that they weren't selling anything at the facility. I think they focused on the athletes village, and so they had a lot of souvenirs they were selling there. But it wasn't until the tournament was over that one of our dear colleagues, Sayaka, who said, if you want to do some shopping online, I can actually go to the store and pick it up, which was really kind of her. So there was 7 of us that put in these major big orders.
Oh yeah.
But it was really sweet because you know, I think, I don't want to speak for Jen, but I mean, when you go away, you want to get something for those that have helped you along the way, or your family or whatever. And so it was just really awesome that Ayaka offered to do that for us. So we all got our little shopping list and gave it to her, and she took the bus there and took a cab home. We told her to take a cab home. We would pay for it because we knew she was going to be overloaded with, like, think about how heavy
Yeah.
pins and mugs or whatever. Anyway, it was she had a lot of stuff that she brought back with her.
Oh yeah.
I think my son has one of those that you just showed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the plush. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that brings us to July 29. So everybody's going back home because we couldn't stay there for more than 48 hours after our last games. So here it is, the last ones. A few of us have already left, and then there was me, Frankie, Jose, Kira, Ayaka, and Chris taking the cab to the airport, and then watching the sun go down on our magnificent tournament and experience and dream, and then get back home with lots of souvenirs, like team pictures with our suitcase full of clothes, new clothes, and all souvenirs here. Shoes with the logo on it, balls, signed ball, chopsticks, sushi chopsticks with that were made for recycled baseball bats. So I'm like, I need to have those. I used them twice already, so that's nice. And then the WBSC gave us a nice medallion here. And then as you can see, there was softball and baseball for the Olympics. And that's Frankie's ball as a souvenir. We each had one signed with our country on it. And this is mine. And that was it.
Thanks for doing that with me, Jen.
Yes, thank you too. That was
Jen and I also got a chance to we were in the airport together. Like we didn't have to say goodbye to each other until we were in Chicago? I think, was it Chicago on the way home too?
Yes. Los Angeles, I think.
Los Angeles, yeah. Anyway, so we got a chance to spend a lot of time, just the two of us, on our way home together. And just when you think you actually can't cry anymore, you can.
Oh yeah. Lots of emotion.
Yeah. Anyway. Scott and Brent, thank you for letting Jen and I do this. Because we've still been in a pandemic, don't get a chance to be around other people too much and chat about this wonderful experience. But and thanks, Jen.
Thank you.
No, thank you guys for sharing. That was tremendous. It was so exciting to see everything that we didn't see while watching the games, just to see everything that you guys went through and all the different souvenirs and pictures and highlights, and that was fantastic. Did we get one direct question other than somebody accusing you of stealing the base, but we know that wasn't true. The base home with you. I'm sure there's a lot of people rushing to try to steal the base, but
I was gonna say you can stick that in your luggage pretty easily.
Yeah, exactly. So this comes from Dwayne Bakken. So basically asking, once you guys got home, what would you have said was the biggest challenge about the games themselves? Not all the circumstances around, or maybe that was the answer, but like on field, was there anything particular that stood out about the competition or the players or the venue or how everything worked?
I think the heat was pretty much a big factor of it. That's a good thing. We only had one game on field per day. You had more games to do, but you were either off field, clock, or reserve. So it's kind of neat to stay in the shade because it was really warm. I think for me, I was thinking I was getting ready for that, but it took me by surprise a little bit more. It was really hot out there and humid.
And I did try to warn you about that because in 2018, Japan had record-breaking heat to the point where they were telling us months in advance, make sure you hydrate because it's going to be crazy hot when you get here. I think for me, it was actually getting used to wearing a mask on the plate underneath our plate mask. So we had, I think the WBSC had supplied us with masks that we could actually attach to our plate mask, so it wasn't right on our nose and mouth. But I think that would be, and it wasn't a challenge or anything, it was just getting used to it because it was kind of the only new thing. So yeah.
Fantastic. Anyone else have a question or a comment? This is your chance. We got a couple minutes before we move into the next section.
Hi there. My name is Wade Ryan.
Hi, Wade.
I have a question for both Genevieve and Frankie. Being in that atmosphere in Tokyo, you're umpiring 2020 Olympic Games. How did it feel emotionally when you stepped onto that diamond, knowing that you were selected and you were picked out of hundreds and hundreds of umpires to umpire in the Olympics?
Well, I tried not to think about that because it was getting me too emotional for sure. But you think about every year you put in, everybody who helped you become a better umpire. As I was saying back home here, I think I had at least 3,000 people in my suitcase with me over there. So you're thinking about that, and then just you just say thank you for the opportunity, and then enjoy the moment as much as you can, and be able to share that moment with you guys today. It's a great way to share the emotion and the experience.
Well, Wade, I would be lying if I didn't say that there wasn't at least once on that day that we went before the game started where there wasn't some kind of tear. And that tear represented a lot of different things. But to Jen's point, all of the people that have supported and helped me along the way were with me while I was there. And I remember, just kept them in mind, and yeah, I just enjoy and be in the moment.
Excellent. All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up because we've got a couple other things to move on to. But again, I just want to say thank you, and just absolutely express how excited and proud of you we were as we all sat and watched our teammates work on that field.